Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. We are also sponsored by Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Holler if you hear him, and holler if you hear a NoDQ&A video and you're watching right now. Scott Steiner invading NoDQ&A video as only he can. Or maybe it's just Dean Ambrose, who knows. We have WWE Money in the Bank coming up just a week away now. Got your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift. Let's get started with the first one today from King Wyatt. Hey Aaron, could it be possible that Roman Reigns wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, then Dean Ambrose wins the WWE title, only for Roman to cash in Money in the Bank all on the same night? Also, could that finally lead to the Shield triple threat? That is certainly a possibility, especially when you consider the current WWE storyline and how Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose have been so buddy-buddy and so friendly. One would think that things are going to go south between these two and something's going to happen, whether Roman Reigns accidentally costs Dean Ambrose the WWE title, or as you mentioned, Ambrose wins the title and then Roman Reigns cashes it in on Ambrose. And that could be your setup to a Shield triple threat match. But the question remains, where does Brock Lesnar fit into all this when it comes to the WWE title picture? And when will the Shield triple threat match take place, if it does happen in the near future or down the line? I got this question here from Ziggler is Money. Hey Aaron, Lesnar is returning after Money in the Bank most likely. So I guess we are going to get Lesnar Rollins at Battleground, and then a Shield triple threat match at SummerSlam, or a Reigns-Rollins match. I'm guessing Reigns is going to win Money in the Bank and win the ladder match. Up until this point, it was believed that Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins would be the main event at SummerSlam. That's what I was expecting. But now that Brock is coming back sooner than expected and he's going to be at the Battleground pay-per-view, that can change the whole complexion of SummerSlam. Right now, I think that WWE should still go with Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar because that was the big angle to close WrestleMania, and I think that that would be your best bet to be the SummerSlam main event. But it could be any number of matches at this point. You know, I got a question here from Aaron Rift Guy. So with SummerSlam a couple of months away, what is your predicted card? Right now, I think one of three matches will end up being the SummerSlam main event. It's either going to be Rollins versus Lesnar, Shield triple threat, or it could end up being Lesnar versus Reigns, a rematch from WrestleMania. One of those three matches, I'm guessing, will be the SummerSlam main event. And it's really hard to say right now. Until Money in the Bank happens and the storylines play out, it's really hard to say exactly what direction WWE is going to go in heading into SummerSlam. But one would think Brock's going to be in the main event at SummerSlam. That's why I think it's unlikely we get the Shield triple threat match at SummerSlam, because Brock's going to be the main event. And if you're going to do the Shield triple threat match, it should be for the WWE title. And another possibility in all this is maybe Roman Reigns wins Money in the Bank and then does the same thing that Rollins did at WrestleMania. You have Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, and then Roman Reigns cashes it in on Seth Rollins and wins the title. So, you know, a little bit of karma. That could very well play out. In fact, that might be what ends up happening, perhaps at Battleground or even SummerSlam. So there's a number of different ways it can go. And I got another question here regarding a possible Shield triple threat match from TX Sharky. Hey Aaron, first time asker. What do you think of this? Roman Reigns wins Money in the Bank and announces that he will cash it in at WrestleMania 32. Seth Rollins keeps the title until WrestleMania, and Dean Ambrose wins the Royal Rumble, making the Shield triple threat. To me, this actually makes more logical sense than doing the Shield triple threat at Battleground or SummerSlam, because we've already seen enough triple threat matches in recent months, and we saw that fatal four-way with the three Shield members. I think when you look at the potential for WrestleMania 32, it makes more sense to do the triple threat then, because Brock Lesnar will probably be in a one-on-one match against any number of people, whether it's Steve Austin or The Rock. Who knows? It could be anybody at this point. But one would think if Brock goes against Steve Austin, for example, and then you have Triple H versus The Rock, or Triple H and Stephanie against The Rock and Ronda Rousey, if that ends up happening, that leads to a possible Shield triple threat match. That would make the most sense to do it at that point and have Ambrose win the Rumble. I think that's a great idea, but it could go any number of ways, like I said. I think if you're going to do the Shield triple threat match, you should give it time to build up, and I think WrestleMania would probably be the best time to do it, but it could definitely happen at SummerSlam. I mean, we could very well see something happen at Battleground and then have the Shield triple threat for the title at SummerSlam, but then what do you do with Brock Lesnar? So that's another question. Got this one here from Shades on My Table. Hey Aaron, with the rise of the WWE Network, do you think it's a good idea to bring back the Internet Championship or make a Network Championship? It could be defended purely on network exclusive events. Thanks. I actually really like this idea. I think that it would work because it would be a way to draw people into the network where you have the Network Championship only defended on the network, and they can do storylines on television, and then in order to see the title be defended, you have to watch it exclusively on the network. I think it's a really good idea. I think WWE should do it. I mean, if you're going to introduce a new title, come up with a title that is completely new, something different, instead of bringing back an old title. And, you know, back in the day in WCW and other promotions, you had the television title. So, you know, it's a new era now with the internet and with the network. Why not make a network championship? And, you know, you can advertise the network all the more. So if somebody from WWE is watching this, or somebody out there can pass it along to WWE, I think it's a tremendous idea. I think it would be, you know, I'm sure WWE would be interested in the idea, because any kind of promotion for the network, maybe they could even put the $9.99 as the belt design. I mean, there's so many ways it can go, you know, similar to the $1 million title, but with $9.99 in the gold diamonds or whatever, you know. There's so many different things that they could do with it. But yeah, I think it would be a great idea. All right, this one comes from Gotham Coach. Hey Aaron, how did the match between Triple H and Sting magically change into a no DQ match just minutes before the match started? Never made it official on the match card. Also, is this what WWE thinks is best for business, just making Michael Cole announce it 5 minutes beforehand? I'm guessing that it was done that way because they probably figured out at the last minute how to involve DX and the NWO into the storyline. I doubt that this was something that was planned out far in advance, because Sting came out on Raw before WrestleMania and said it wasn't about WCW versus WWE. It was about taking out Triple H and getting rid of him. That's what Sting specifically said in his promo. And then you have the match, and it's about WCW versus WWE. The announcers are talking about it, and then you have the NWO guys, Hogan, Hall, and Nash, and then DX. And it was all about the Monday Night War, when in the build-up, Sting specifically said that it wasn't. So, you know, that was a major issue I had with the match, among other things, including Triple H winning the match. So, yeah, it didn't make any sense. Wasn't a fan of it. I enjoyed watching the match in person because it was cool from a nostalgic point of view to see the NWO and DX guys come out, but the whole thing made no sense, and to me it has no replay value. I have no desire to ever see that match again, and it's just a shame, because Sting's first WWE match should have been a match that is timeless, that you could watch over and over again, and unfortunately that just isn't the case. Alright, got this one here from Wrestling Do 95. Yo Aaron, do you plan on watching the inaugural GFW taping on July 24th, and do you have any expectations for the new promotion? Well, I have talked with various people about going to Vegas, taking a trip up to Las Vegas from LA and attending the first tapings, but at this point nothing is set in stone. I would like to go, and as far as my expectations for the promotion, I just hope that they can provide a a legitimate alternative to WWE and perhaps come up with some new ideas and a new vision of where to go with sports entertainment. That's what I'm hoping for from GFW, and I don't know if it's going to work out. It's definitely a challenge to start up a new wrestling promotion and build up momentum. It's going to be a tough task for Jeff Jarrett and his crew, but Jarrett's had a lot of experience in the business, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he'll have some fresh ideas. Maybe he's working with people that have fresh ideas. It all remains to be seen. I'm going to give them an opportunity. I'm going to check out the promotion and maybe even attend it in person, and we'll see what happens with it. And I hope it succeeds, because wrestling needs as much alternatives as possible, and the more successful promotions out there, the better the industry is in the long run. All right, this one comes from XK Wilcox. Hey Aaron, with Kevin Owens pinning John Cena clean at Elimination Chamber and WWE seemingly being super high on him, what do you think the chances are of Kevin Owens making John Cena tap out in 2 weeks at Money in the Bank? Maybe for the United States Championship even. Well, I'm going to have to use my famous line, highly unlikely in all likelihood. I would be shocked beyond belief if Kevin Owens tapped out John Cena. John Cena never gives up, and he's not going to give up. When there are sick children out there that are inspired by John Cena, it's just not going to happen. As much as it would be a shocker, and it would really make Kevin Owens for that to happen, I don't want to say 100% no, but I would say 99.9% at this point. I mean, I think there's a better chance of Chris Benoit's name being mentioned on WWE television again. I mean, that's how unlikely I think it is. Kevin Owens winning is still something that I feel is maybe 50-50 at best. And that's something that I'm sure WWE Creative is going back and forth with on how to proceed with that storyline. But I'll talk more about that in my predictions next week on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel and on NoDQ.com. Myself and Jeff Meacham are scheduled to give our predictions, so stay tuned for that. And I got one more question here before I sign off from Fight Fan. Speaking of Jeff Meacham, did Jeff Meacham bury Ryback on your last show? I think Ryback could have a solid run as IC champ if Creative gets behind him. He's improved a lot as a worker, is solid if not green on the mic, and is fairly over. Do you agree? Well, Ryback is certainly over, and more over than I thought he would be after that heel run that didn't really go over so well. He went back to being babyface, and I was surprised that people got behind him again. Ryback is a good babyface. As far as in the ring, I feel he has improved. I remember him doing that frog splash off the top during the match with Bray Wyatt. I thought that was impressive. A guy the size of Ryback doing something like that. He's definitely a good athlete. I mean, there's no question. I don't think he's great or anything in terms of his in-ring work and his mic work. Not that great. I think Jeff was a little bit harsh on him. I feel that Ryback has worked hard to be in the spot that he's in. And I think that the guy should not get the hate that he's getting from some people, because he is somebody who is working hard. And, as far as him injuring CM Punk and taking CM Punk away from us, Jeff was wrong about that. CM Punk chose to walk away, and it's the way it is. I mean, CM Punk wasn't happy, and I don't think Ryback was a huge difference maker. I think Punk had already been frustrated with the company well before he was working with Ryback. I don't really have a problem with Ryback as a performer. As far as him being IC champion goes, I mean, honestly, he next to Mark Henry and R-Truth, he would have been my last personal choice to be IC champion. I think it would have been better with Ziggler as champion or Sheamus as champion, just because they've been pushed harder. And Ryback, I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. But if they're going to be doing these matches with Ryback and Big Show or Ryback and The Miz, then I'm not so hopeful about the IC title becoming credible. I just don't know. So that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already at youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. New videos are being posted daily. And this coming week, I'll have my predictions with Jeff Meacham and more videos from Jeff, Mike Nagel, Wade Needham, Noah Donish. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Money in the Bank. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.